Well, thank you. For myself, I think data governance is also a difficult thing to understand, but I'll try my best to make it work for you guys. So first of all, before I jump in, if you be so kind to scan that Mentimeter code. I have a question for you that I would like your response on, and hopefully during the session, I will be able to answer those questions. Good. If we can move, if everybody has done that, we can move over to the Mentimeter. So let's see. Can you show the Mentimeter, please? Ah, there we go. Okay, that's very interesting. Data security pops up. I think roles in data governance is also a very good one. Accountability, crucial for governance. So we'll dive into some of those. Best practices. Accessibility, that's true. I mean, we have data in so many different silos, so how do we access that data? Let's see what else. Harmonization of data sets. That's something that we'll talk about during the session. Privacy, that's very important. The privacy of data. I think most countries do have the privacy regulations in place. And when you design data systems, you need to follow those guidelines. What else? Zero knowledge proof. That's an interesting one. And I see best practices in data security, accessibility, transparency. Those are the components that are boiling to the front, if I look at that. Anything else? KPIs, that's also important. So hopefully when I go through the rest of the presentation, you will see how all of this fits into data governance and how that model works. Okay, good. Thank you. I hope I will be able to address this during the session. So if we can go back to the presentation, from the start, we thought maybe we need to make this sort of interactive. So we're going to have a quick table discussion. So for that table discussion, thank you. Just hang on for the clicker. There we go. So what I'd like you to do is that first question there. What are the biggest barriers to harmonizing plastic waste data across countries and sectors, and how can we overcome them? So that's something that I would like you guys to discuss at the table. And there are some guiding questions just to frame this. How do fragmented data systems and inconsistent standards affect your work? What role can regional platforms play in improving cross-border data sharing? And also, what are examples of successful data harmonization or standardization efforts in your specific context? And also, how can we ensure the informal sector is captured and trusted? So now is the time to discuss that at your tables. Don't be shy. We will give about 10 minutes for that. So if you can proceed, thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start from the back, okay? Table number 8. Can we have like 2 or 3 short sentence bullet points that you want to share, summing up what you discussed? Go ahead.
Take one for the team. Yeah. So from table 8, it's interesting that in terms of the background, some of us are in the regulatory bodies, a social entrepreneur, and also a gathering of NGOs. So the common problem and denominator has something to do with the way the data is organized and the way that we also define the data points. The common understanding of what needs to be collected are often based on what's the interest of the ones requesting the data. And because we don't have the same understanding, the way that it's also implemented on the ground is a problem. And the end result would be it's hard to make policy and recommend appropriate infrastructure. What's good though is that there are efforts already, as presented by one of our teammates here, in terms of having a data visualization for what's happening on the ground, but there's still much to improve.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a very good summary. Thanks very much. Still staying at the back of the room here, can we ask group, is this 6 or 9? I'll say it's group 9. Yeah? It's okay. Are you still discussing? Do you care to share that with the rest of the room, please? Please, sir, go ahead. You are from Indonesia. Apa kabar? Excellent. Please, Pak, share.
Yeah, baik. Okay, thank you. I'm Fazri from Indonesia. I'm from Ministry of Environment. Regarding to the data collection, actually we still have facing many problems. Like we still don't have. I'm sorry. I'm check my data. Yeah, like we still have lack of standardized data format because in Indonesia we have 514 municipality and every municipality have their own data, and we try to now currently we try to make a data formulation, one data formulation, which is the data we made the application for national data. We try to make the data formulation, which is a standard data formulation, but the implementation is still, yeah, maybe still below 50%, like that. And also because if we talk the infrastructure, something like that, we have different condition in every municipality. That's why for the data, we saw the data collection is very important, but the problem is the data collection in Indonesia is still like I said before, is still very low. If we saw in the behavior of the municipality, they didn't show the data. They still not show the data is very important, something like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you for sharing the challenges in Indonesia. We are also aware about SIPSN. But it's a great step. It's a great step in that direction. Okay, I'm coming to table 4. You guys had very animated discussions. So somebody care to speak?
All right. At least for this table, we have the same sentiments and observations in all the works that we're currently doing. Actually, it's really focused more on identifying the problem, the fragmentation of the data, because once we have identified the problem, that's 50% already of the solution, right? So it's really hard, it's really difficult if you have one specific location that you're addressing, but various agencies, various organizations or government departments are tackling all the issues within this same specific locations. It's really more of how data can be consistent, how can you trace the data from one government to another, especially if it's reporting or if there is kind of a data flow. And who governs the harmonization? Is it a top to bottom approach or a bottom up approach? Something like that.
Excellent. We did talk about this. Should it come from the top or bottom up? But identifying the problems is already half the solution. So that's great. I'm coming to table 3. Can you have a quick summation here?
So similar, we got stuck with the problem area. We haven't begun talking about the solutions yet. But so number one is the recognition that there is wide diversity when it comes to policy infrastructure, physical infrastructure, and data infrastructure across the countries or the markets in the region. And from there, one of the barriers is the lack of either a shared or harmonized policy framework when it comes to data governance. Second is, you mentioned it earlier, what platform will house or will be will lead the data governance from collection to monitoring to evaluation. So the entire stream from end to end. And the last point would be capacity. And I guess that's one of the solutions as well, the capacity to collect from the community level, from the grassroots level. In Vietnam, there's robust capacity building, I think, in partnership with your team, if I'm not mistaken. So that's one of the solutions as well.
Thank you. That's great. You already have half the solution as well identified. That's great. Let's come over to table 5. Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So this table represents views from the government. So we have representation from DNR, DTI. I represent private sector, and my colleague here is from academia. We dwelled upon the whole idea of plastic waste management and in general waste management and our challenges in terms of the data fragmentation, what we have. And I think we have a broad consensus on fundamentally 2 challenges. One, there are like 17,000 LGUs in this country. How do we ensure that all 17,000 LGUs follow a similar structure of monitoring and reporting the waste? If we can achieve that as a first thing, that would be a great leapfrog from where we are today. Second is there are standards in terms of what should be the reporting cycle, what's the reporting frequency. Implementation becomes a challenge. There are timelines at which those data points needs to be reported, but we have seen and we went in the past to understand that those timelines, it's very difficult to adhere to. In terms of regional platform, yes, I've been quite exposed to GPML Data Hub, so I understand what's the value of that platform. But I think by integrating high frequency data points from ground up sources into solutions like Data Hub, can really play an instrumental and transformational role, like something which we are talking about, the Pasig River digital twin. A need of high frequency data is really, really important rather than data at a particular instance or a particular point in time. In terms of harmonization, I think one of a good starting point which we have seen in the country today is the EPR implementation and keeping it simple to begin with. So if you look at EPR implementation in this country today, we just talk of 2 types of plastics, rigids and flexibles. Rather than complicating into 7 different types and then creating subcategories and confusing all the implementers, this was a very good initiative to begin with, keeping things simple to begin with. Of course, we can complicate as we go ahead in the deployment cycle. So this is one way where things can be kept simple. And informal sector, I think there are a lot of center of excellence, there are a lot of pilot projects which has driven result, where we have seen that there has been stories of successful integration. I think now it all depends on the top-down approach as to how these can be implemented at scale. Taking these or these pilots and taking it to a national level, I think that's something which can be a good mandate and challenge for DNR to take up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that comprehensive answer. Now, this final table, or I will put my colleague on the spot. Okay. Marius, you got to do this in 3 sentences.
Thank you, Vincent.
That one.
So I can double back on the Indonesia challenges and standardization. Effectively, there were a lot of challenges at first. There was no data standardization. There was no reporting. So there was basically no national data and aggregated data. With the development of a platform on waste data, specifically for waste data, and data standardization, now they have regular reporting into the platform from certain municipalities, and it's clear for the most part what they have to enter into the platform. So data harmonization, data standardization have helped them develop a platform with comprehensive data at some levels.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'll come back to you because we are a little bit tight on time. What I want to say now is we heard about all the challenges and problems, Leroux. You need to provide the solutions now in your next presentation.
Well, thank you for that. It's so interesting to hear your responses because it just reaffirms that the model that we've built and the framework that we designed will potentially solve those problems if you approach it correctly. So there's always an if, unfortunately. So when I was asked to talk about data governance, my first thought was, where do I start? And to what depth do I go?
we will hear from Leroux again. He's not finished. Yeah. I am at this point. I'm going to introduce our next speaker. We have a guest speaker from COPC, UNEP, and I'm happy to say she's also my former colleague. So, our next speaker is Miss Hyunjung Jin. Can we have the? Okay. Ms. Hyunjung. She works on plastic pollution and marine litter efforts for the coordinating body of the Seas of East Asia Secretariat, or COPC, which is administered by the United Nations Environment Programme. She has worked with local and national governments, businesses, and coastal communities on solutions to prevent plastic pollution and protect marine and coastal ecosystems in the East Asian Seas region. Her areas of expertise include ocean governance, marine litter knowledge management, and fostering regional and global cooperation to address marine plastic pollution. Hyunjung will speak on data governance challenges COPC faces and lessons learned and way forward. So thank you. Please come to the stage is yours.
To this important discussion, and we are very pleased to contribute to this dialogue on digitalization and data governance, which is so crucial for advancing qualitative action on marine litter and plastic pollution in the region. Just a little background about ourselves. COPC is a regional intergovernmental mechanism and one of the regional CIS programs administered by the UNEP. And it is the implementing body for the East Asian CIS Action Plan 1994, bridging together 9 participating countries. And before coming to regional data, before coming to data governance, like COPC, this kind of like regional governance is very important. I would like to highlight to address marine litter as its transboundary issue, which doesn't recognize the borders, and countries acting alone cannot solve this challenge. And in addressing this issue in the region, there are many stakeholders and different mechanisms involved. And you can see here, there are 3 formally established intergovernmental bodies that have taken strong positions on combating marine litter and plastic pollution in the region. And COPC and ASEAN have adopted action plans and specific measures to address marine plastic pollution. And more specifically for COPC in 2019, our 9 participating countries gathered together to adopt the revised marine litter action plan, regional action plan on marine litter. We call it REP Mali. And this action plan actually provides a framework in line with the global commitments as well, like 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and also UN Environment Assembly, UNIA resolutions on marine litter and microplastics. And the REP Mali actually aims to reduce and prevent marine litter from land-based sources and also from sea-based sources like ghost fishing gear, and also strengthen monitoring and assessment and create enabling conditions for action, including knowledge sharing and regional coordination and research. But in order to translate this or action plans to real impact, we do need good data governance, because without data that is consistent, accessible, and usable, even the most ambitious action plans like us risk falling short. So that is why strengthening data governance is so important for our countries, COPC in the region as well, as it underpins better decision-making, stronger compliance, and impact that can be scaled across the region. So from a COPC regional perspective, several challenges shape our work in the COPC. First is around the fragmentation across jurisdictions. Our countries in the region actually have diverse legal systems and institutional setups and also technical capacities. And this means data collection methods, reporting formats, and indicators often differ. limiting comparability and also slowing coordinated regional action. A second challenge is also around interoperability gaps, because data systems remain siloed. And this is a common challenge not only for COPSI in the region, I don't think so, but across many regions globally. Of course, some countries like Indonesia and Vietnam, they have made some strides, but regional level integration is still very limited. So we do need greater alignment in data standards and also technical platforms to build a full regional picture. And third area, I think this is one of the most important things, capacity gaps, because our country is flagging of ways like from national agencies to local governments, countries always, have like that many stakeholders like tools, trainings, and also resources, which affects data quality, reliability, and also use of decision-making. And addressing these gaps is very important in ensuring that collected data can actually inform sound policies and actions. And finally, data sharing is sometimes constrained by concerns over ownership, potential misuse, or reputational risks. So strengthening trust and transparency through clear policies and protections is also as essential as technical solutions. And this means fostering a culture of sort of like openness and collaboration backed by clear data governance policies that can protect contributors and also promote accountability. And in terms of, against this backdrop, like COPSI has made progress, for example, through the regional guidance on harmonization and marine litter monitoring programs, which has been developed, which was adopted by our 9 participating countries in 2021. And also we have been conducting like several capacity building in terms of the data. We have been providing the capacity building workshop and training for our countries. But this is just an example of regional efforts to strengthen alignment. But the thing is that much more work is needed to translate guidance into consistent practice on the ground. So in terms of strengthening data governance for regional impact, key principles guiding our approach include like data quality standards, open data systems, and also capacity building, empowering national and local actors through practical training. And this aligns well with the initiatives already underway at UNEP COPSI and also UNEP headquarters. One of the examples is the Global Plastics Hub, as mentioned, operated by UNEP headquarters GPML team, and which is an open multi-stakeholder platform that brings together resources and data to guide the action on marine litter and plastic pollution at the global level. And in terms of the data, where they have the country dashboards, for example, so data where data needs to come through the regions connecting with other countries, but it also needs to somehow reflected at global level. And the Global Plastics Hub team is exploring more advanced country dashboard functionality to bring more data from different countries. And from COPSI, we are also now exploring the opportunity to bring it at the regional level. So country dashboard dashboards are a tool that countries can use to visualize data from global data sets, but they can also integrate their own data. They can validate it, so they can address the data gaps that are there. So this will be very important in the future, and possibly a tool, country dashboards that can be used as is, or something can be adopted at the regional level as well, whatever makes the countries comfortable. So at the regional level, again, this global platform connects with our COPSIS East Asian CIS regional node, strengthening connection between regional and also global efforts in data integration, accessibility, and collaboration. And building on this, and also we would like to draw on from the experience and initiatives of partners like ADB, we are very keen on strengthening regional data governance that reflect our country's context while supporting the global alignment. For example, we are exploring pilot metadata standards and also shared dashboards from Global Plastics Hub, as I mentioned, to improve data comparability and also visualization. And we are also committed to supporting countries and especially our countries whose national systems are advancing and also scaling their experience through regional coordination and knowledge sharing. And we also see greater potential for future collaboration with the partners like ADB and other partners in this area to promote circularity. For example, by integrating informal sector data, enhancing traceability along the plastic value chains, and also supporting national and local actors through the capacity building. So, I mean, through the existing mechanisms like COPC and our regional node, we are connecting national efforts across the East Asian seas, supporting our countries move from fragmented data to more coordinated action. And we would like to just invite partners and also our other countries to join us in building interoperable and inclusive and transparent data ecosystems that enable meaningful collaboration and informed decision making. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you. Hyun Jung, please wait there. Please wait there. I want to take a couple of questions from the floor if you have any right now. And Hyun Jung can respond to any questions or some clarifications. Do we have any questions from the floor? I can pass you the mic. Everything is crystal. Oh, okay. Thank you. Everything is crystal. Oh, okay. Thank you. Please.
Just a question on interoperability. I do some circularity work in the Philippines, and I've met several startups that run their own digital platforms, a lot of them blockchain based as well. But I find that they're not interoperable. Is there a program where you can support and make them interoperable, I guess, is the question.
Well, thank you. Hyun Jung, please go ahead.
Maybe, I mean, we can just explore that opportunity in the future, but at the moment, I cannot really share the program existing around that. So,
Okay, that's great. Do we have any further questions for Hyun Jung? And we can actually, I'll be calling on her a bit later after the next presentation as well. So if you think of something in the meantime, just hang on to that. Thank you. Let's give another round of applause to Hyun Jung. Thank you. So, okay, we are going to the next presentation. LaRue is not quite finished with us yet. So LaRue, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Vincent. So let me just go to slide 191.
We have 10 minutes, yeah. So let's make good use of that. We have questions from the floor, if any. And again, if there's something for Hyun Jong as well, please, yeah, just shoot the questions. So anybody to start with? I have, oh, great. Okay. But can you hold your question for a moment? Okay. I want to ask him something, something hard. I looked at the layers. Yeah, we talked about the layers, the operational layer, just to get an idea, LaRue. Yeah? That team that has to do the data management, how many people would you need for such a team? And what are their competencies? Can you maybe share that?
Okay, thanks. That is a hard question. The data management team. Okay, so let's take one step back. Depending on your context, depending on the country within which you operate, you will have an understanding of what the operational level looks like. So when you define a data management team, it doesn't necessarily have to be one team. It can be more than one team. But if you have more than one team, then you need some kind of a structure, and that's the steering committee's purpose on the tactical layer, to coordinate the activities and orchestrate across those different data management teams. So that's the one side. The other side is from your strategic level, they need to define the object of the roles and responsibilities specifically for that data management team. And also the size. So the size can be anything between 2 people to 10 people within that data management team, depending on what they need to manage. Depending on the objectives or the roles that you defined for them. And a data management team, they need one person that's a representative of some government entity that operates or community entity that operates within that sector. And then they need data specialists. And what I mean by a data specialist is someone that understands the complexities about data collection, what data looks like, what data collection tools we have, how do we move data through different networks, how do we store that data. But mostly they need to implement the standards defined at the strategic level for data. They need to enforce the execution of the data processes as defined by the governance capability. So they're basically the ants on the ground doing the hard work. So they need to make sure that if the process says we follow step 1 to step 10, and that's what you need to do, they need to make sure that happens on a daily basis there at the data collection points or where they interact with the data owners. So if that answers your question.
Thanks for that. No, thank you. It's good. It gives an idea of the size and what kind of competencies that we need. Okay, over to you, sir. Maybe you can tell us.
All right. So thank you, LaRue, for that very structured and very well informative presentation. I really like the multi-tiered structure. So I'm working with Erin, plus 68 team of ADB. We're doing the Pasig River Digital Twin project. And these are the same challenges that we're anticipating and we're currently facing. So it's a question to LaRue and to the group of people who are from the government agencies like DNR or MMDA, if you are present here, or LLDA, or anyone from LGU. All right, I can see hands there. All right. So my question, can that model, the multi-tiered structure, the national, the regional, the local, the tactical, the operational, what's your success story in implementing this to a specific country? Whether you have implemented that in Indonesia or other Southeast Asia countries, can that be replicated here in the Philippines? So we're really keen to know your success story, the adoption of this model, because we're really keen if we could really adopt that model for the plastic waste management here in the Pasig River, because Pasig River it encompasses all these three agencies, DNR, MMDA, and LGU. Thank you.
Okay, so the success rate in the Philippines is absolutely zero because we haven't done that yet, in this country. Over the last 10 years, we've fine-tuned this operating model. We had very good and successful implementations in a few countries that we worked in, South Africa, Eswatini, Burundi. So what I want to just highlight about the success of implementing a governance model, it comes down to whether there's a desire to do that. And whether there's a desire boils down to who's ultimately accountable for managing data for a specific industry or for a specific purpose within that either country or sector or organization. And that's the key. If they understand the value of governance and what it brings to the table, and that is sort of the glue that holds everything together. I mean, if you look at the solutions that we've tested, you look at the open data platform, you look at so many initiatives on the ground, if there's not a will at some level to enforce standards, it will never be successfully implemented. And what we found was in the areas that we operated in, if you can influence and convince the strategic layer or the accountability or execution entity, if you can convince them about the successes of this and how it works and the benefits and the values, and they decide, yes, we want to do this, then in my experience, the success is almost guaranteed.
Thank you, Leroy. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very hard to pack data governance into 1.5 hours. But Leroux told me that he's not having lunch today. He's going to stay outside this room during lunch hour for you to come by and ask any questions you want. He will not move from there. Okay? So let's give another round of applause to Leroux.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope you got a bit of insights from what we did in the project and about data governance. I would like to ask Erin now to give a few logistics instruction. And it's only lunch. Huh? She's going to announce lunch. So, but over to you, Erin. Thank you.
Hi. So thank you so much again to our speakers for a really engaging and informative session. I think we learned a lot, and I think that there are a lot of good lessons we can take away for our own countries and also here in the Philippines, as many of us here are from. So now we're closing the session, and we will now go into lunch. So just so everyone is aware, here's a map to go to the lunch venue. I heard that some people got lost yesterday, so apologies for that. But here, so you can go, when you get out, you turn right, and at the end of the hallway, you turn left. And at the end of that hallway, you turn right and then left again. So it's a bit far, but it can hold more people for lunch. So in case you need the directions, you can take a picture of that, and that should lead you to where lunch is. So thank you again. So we will go into our closing plenary at 2 p.m. So please gather all of your belongings. Do not leave anything here because we will be taking down these partitions and have a bigger auditorium. Okay, so we'll see everyone back here at 2 p.m. Thank you very much.